think overall in the application, and specifically the essays, we're looking for 3 points. The first is academic, the second is extracurricular, and then the third we call intellectual vitality. So this is a quality that's more difficult. It's something usually that you've completed independently, is very unique to your specific application. Perhaps you've completed research with a professor, or you've self-published a book that show not only are you taking your academic abilities outside the classroom, but you're sharing them with the world and giving back to the greater community. I think Uchicago prides itself on having a very creative and passionate community. So with their essay questions, they're hoping to relay that same message to prospective students, to allow current students to help write essay questions and submit responses, to kind of help pick out their classmates. One question that I thought was interesting from this past cycle asked if you were to start a Uchicago school on another planet or another universe, what types of courses would be taught there? I think that is a great question for students who have a very particular or unique interest that they'd like to share with the greater community. One student I worked with last year was very interested in female bodybuilding, and she was a weightlifter herself. In her case, if she was applying to Uchicago, I probably would have suggested she write about that, and maybe the history of female bodybuilding and how the lack of gravity in space would have affected those workouts for her, or maybe affected the future of the sport as well. When you're writing your essay, you should think, could anyone else write this same essay? And the answer should always be no.
My teachers showed me some of the good essays from the New York Times, and I find out that they all write about some family difficulties. I think I do not have such experience, so how can I write a good story just like them? Do I have to write those family difficulties?
No, not at all. You can write about something that you feel very passionate about. One student is a German studies major, and he's very passionate about how immigrants to Germany have influenced German literature. So he's writing about that. Another student was very passionate about the topic of child marriage. He had just read about it in the news and felt that this was a very horrible thing that was going on in the world. So he wrote about how he wishes to change that in the world and the steps he's going to take to follow that career path. Your application essay should be something that is very personal to you. It can also be about someone who inspires you or something that you are very excited about in the future. If you can have a very unique, attention-grabbing introduction, that makes all the difference in your essay. The counselor will continue to read it, of course, and read through your entire story, but their image of the story is already kind of swayed by those first 30 seconds of reading. You should really write about a larger theme or passion, and then use your activities as examples of how you're living out that passion in your life. Don't be afraid to share an interest that perhaps doesn't relate to your major. Some of the best essays we read were from science majors who were talking about philosophy, or English majors who were very interested in genetics. When an admissions counselor is reading a student's essay, they're not looking for specific points for a student to mention or hit. They really are looking to hear how the student responds. It gives so much insight into their personality and their thought process.